Margaret. How are you? My name is Alex Wang. I'm serve as our Vice President of Service for our chapter at Beta Alpha Psi at Auburn University.
Hey, and my name is Hallie Hunt. I'm the back graduate assistant this year, and we are really excited to have Margaret with us from RSM. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, talk a little bit about RSM and her role at the firm.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm Margaret Powell, and I am a graduate of Auburn University. I got my undergrad and my graduate degree from there. I started out straight out of college working for a firm in Birmingham called Sellers Richardson, Holman and West, and we merged with RSM back in 2015. So I've technically been at the same firm my entire career, but our name has changed a few times, and now I'm part of the fifth largest firm in the country. I'm an audit partner in our audit practice, and I typically spend most of my time in the financial services industry working on broker-dealers, hedge funds, registered investment companies, private equity funds. And then I also spend another decent part of my time in the consumer and industrial product space. And so in the Birmingham market, the financial services industry isn't super large. And so, you know, typically in a larger city, you would spend majority of your time working in one industry, but in the Birmingham market, you typically have to spread your time over a few industries. And so those are the two that I spend most of my time in. I also spend a lot of time with recruiting, which is one of my most favorite things to do at the firm. I'm sad that we're not getting to come on campus right now, but at least we're looking at new alternative ways and connecting with the students like this right here. But I hope to be back on campus soon. But that's a really rewarding part of my job.
Yeah, so Margaret, I know this is a big part of RSM's purpose statement, so I was wondering if you could elaborate a little more on what it means to be a first choice advisor to your clients.
Sure. So a first choice advisor is so much more than just preparing a tax return or performing an audit. One of the biggest focuses in being a first choice advisor is being relevant with our clients and truly understanding their business from not just from a financial accounting standpoint, but also from an operational standpoint. And it allows us to connect the dots and truly understand their business and what they're going through and the struggles that they're having. And that way we're able to, identify ways that we can help our clients get through any struggles that they're having. Sometimes it's just about listening to the client, listening to their concerns. What they think they may need from us may not be exactly what they need. Sometimes we're able to read between the lines and truly understand what their struggles are, and we may have ways that we can help them in ways that they never thought before. We want to be the first person that our client thinks of when they're having issues or when they're having struggles, and that we're going to be the first professional that they pick up the phone and call. We want to remain relevant, and we want to not just be a service provider, but be with them every step of the way of their business journey.
A lot of sense. It probably makes the job a little bit more fun too when you get to build those relationships.
It is. I mean, relationship building is a big part of it, is a big part of being a first choice advisor, and getting to know someone more than just from a business standpoint, but knowing their kids, knowing their family. I mean, you end up being that close with a lot of your clients because you just are talking to them, pretty regularly, and it just naturally happens.
That's great. So I think you touched a little bit on what I was going to ask about how you really go about forming those relationships, but I think Alex had a follow-up to that.
Yeah. So how have you been able to maintain these relationships while in this COVID-19 environment while working virtually?
Yeah, it is a lot harder at times because as an auditor, we're used to being out at the client's office and seeing them face to face a good bit. And, during busy season when we're out there for 4 or 5 weeks on some of our larger jobs, I get to see them almost as much as I get to see my family. But with the switch to going into a quarantine environment and us all going virtual from a work standpoint, it was more about phone calls and Zoom meetings. And, at first that was very uncomfortable. I don't know why, but I guess being at my house and not knowing if at the time this spring, my 5-year-old may pop up in the background, you know, it was funny to see that they were also dealing with those same struggles. You know, they had kids too, or pets that were barking, and so it just kind of made us, you know, bond even better in that we got to know each other in more of a home scenario where we were all working from home. But we've had to get really creative as far as developing relationships with our clients. We tried to provide a lot of information when it was first out on the payroll protection programs, so the loans, the Main Street lending loans. We really tried to get out there ahead of the game and provide webcasts that truly explain the legislation, because our clients were struggling to understand it, as most people were. And we really tried to help them navigate through these uncertain times. You know, one example of that is we had a client that was focused strictly on providing certain medical wear in certain elective surgery. So it was like stocking type wear that surgery patients wore after certain types of surgery. And since all of those elective surgeries ceased for a while, you know, their business was really going to suffer because of that. And so they ended up quickly switching to making masks out of that same fabric that they were using for their previous product. And, you know, they were one of the first ones I saw in the market truly pushing masks. And it was before, you know, most people were even wearing masks. So that was something that we were able to help them work through and really switch strategy of what type of product they were going to sell very quickly in those troubled times. So that's just one example of where we were with our client as a first choice advisor.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I think there's been a lot of times where all of us have had to adjust on the fly super quick. I feel like everything's changing every day with our situation.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
So I think the last question that we have for you is, obviously you're a partner, so you have leadership in the firm, and so you are, you know, constantly talking to your clients, and you know, you're the one to help bring those clients into the firm and those kind of things. But how can someone with less experience, like an intern or a staff, or maybe a senior who hasn't been there a long time, how can they really contribute to becoming a first choice advisor and helping with that motto?
Yeah, so, you know, our interns and seniors and staff, hopefully they're going to be able to get some client face time this upcoming busy season, just depending on how things go. But what I always encourage those individuals to do is to really watch and learn, as far as, you know, when a manager or partner is out in the field with you, or even if it's just on a phone call, watching and being observant as to how the partner and the manager conduct themselves with a client, and, you know, what type of questions are they asking, why are they asking those questions. And the staff or intern or senior can also practice those behaviors. Maybe it's not with the CFO, maybe it's with the, you know, the controller or just a senior accountant level person. But I think just practicing that relationship building is key to being successful at being a first choice advisor. And, you know, even if it's 5 years down the road that you're actually having that face-to-face contact with the CFO, all the practice now will really position you well for the future.
That's super helpful. I know I just interned and I'll be starting full-time soon, and Alex will be interning in the spring. So that's good advice for us and our peers in classes right now.
Margaret, I think that's all the questions we had for you today. I wanted to thank you for your time. I know you're very busy, so it was great hearing from you and kind of some stuff about what you had to say about becoming a first choice advisor for your clients.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I hope that we get to be on campus soon and see everyone face to face.
Yes, we do too. Thank you.
Thanks. Y'all have a good day.
You too.